Kia ora and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Conjoint Degrees panel discussion as part of the University of Auckland Waipapa Matarao's Manawa Mai Information Evening online. Wherever you are tuning in from, whether you're in Auckland, somewhere around Aotearoa, New Zealand, or somewhere out there across the globe, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Waha, and I will be your host for this discussion. I'm a member of the Schools and Community Engagement team here at the University of Auckland, but for tonight, it is a special privilege for me to be your host. Tonight, we will cover everything you need to know about conjoint degrees, including what they are, what it is like to study one, how they can broaden your skills and career opportunities, and everything conjoint related. Tonight, we have some special guests on our panel joining me for this webinar. Our guests are current students at the University of Auckland Waipapa, and they are currently enrolled into conjoint degrees. I'm not going to ramble on any longer, so I'm going to ask our awesome panel to introduce themselves. Can we start with your names, which high school you went to, and which conjoint degree you are studying?
Hi, I'm Shreya. I went to Avondale College and I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Engineering in Biomedical Engineering and a Bachelor of Science in both Chemistry and Biology.
Awesome. Thank you, Shreya.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Eloise. I went to Rangitoto College and I'm studying a Bachelor of Science and a Bachelor of Design.
Kia ora, Eloise.
Kia ora, my name is Rhiannon Kappa. I went to Lytton High School in Gisborne and I study a Bachelor of Health Science with a Bachelor of Laws.
Thank you to our panelists for introducing themselves. Now, there might be 4 of us on the panel tonight, but guess what? You too can join in from the comfort of your own home. So if you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to pop it in the Q&A box on your screen. We have a team of experts working in the background, primed and ready to respond with all the answers you'll need throughout the session. Now, before we get into our Q&A, you might be thinking to yourself, what is a conjoint program? Maybe you've heard the term before, but you're not sure what exactly it means. Well, it's quite simple, really. Essentially, we take one degree, then we take another degree, and we combine the two together so that you can study both at the same time. That's a conjoint degree. It also means you can complete both degrees in a much shorter time frame than if you were to study them separately. Take our Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science conjoint, for example. Both are 3-year degrees, so study them separately. It will take you 6 years to complete both. Study them as a conjoint, however, and you can finish as early as 4 years. Basically, I like to think of conjoint degrees as a delicious educational sandwich. In addition to studying 2 programs in a short amount of time, you get to pursue 2 things that you may be passionate about. Not only will you be a graduate in 2 separate areas of study, but you also gain skills and knowledge that will make you an asset to any employer. Here at the university, we offer over 30 different combinations. That's far too many for me to list here. But if you'd like to check out all the different conjoint combinations we have, head to our website at auckland.ac.nz/conjoints. Now, without further ado, let's crack on with the show. So, Shreya, I'm going to come to you first. Let's start with the obvious. Why did you decide to study a conjoint?
Well, I decided to study a conjoint because really I couldn't decide out of high school what kind of path I wanted to take in the future. When in high school, my best subjects were biology and mathematics. They were the 2 things that I found really natural, but I didn't really know which one I liked better. I had done a program with the university called the Young Scholars Program, where I basically got to come in and do a university course during year 13. In that course, I worked under the engineering science department. We did a mathematics course, so they introduced me to a lot of concepts that you do in first year engineering. And I realized that I really, really enjoyed that pathway, but I couldn't really give up my love of biology. So when I was applying and I found out about conjoints, I was like, oh, I can apply for both engineering and science and do biology. So I applied, managed to get in, and I kind of went in with the impression that after first year, I was going to pick which one I liked better. But honestly, the workload wasn't too hard, and I really enjoyed both my subjects, so I decided to keep going. I kind of tacked chemistry on there as well because I genuinely enjoyed the subject and loved doing experiments too. So a conjugate was just the best way for me to be able to explore all the pathways that I wanted to take.
Awesome. Eloise, what is the workload like in a conjoint? How do you manage the workload?
I guess I want to preface my answer by saying that everyone manages workload differently. You'll know that from high school. But for me, I was really worried about the workload. Conjoints, you do 5 papers in a semester sometimes. That sounded really scary. So I did summer school and decreased the amount of papers that I had to do during the year. But I have done some 5 paper semesters as well, and it's definitely manageable. Um, yeah, but summer school's a really good option. If you are worried about it, like don't let the workload stop you from doing the conjoint, I would say. It's definitely doable. I've had many part-time jobs during studying and have always managed, so yeah. Um, Summer school is really good. I was gonna say that some degrees don't offer papers in summer school, but you can always do your general education paper in summer school. That's what I did, and yeah, it's quite fun. Promo for summer school. Yeah,
Awesome.
but
Thank
it's
you.
doable. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Shreya, back to you. Um, are you able to balance your studies with other commitments like clubs, like student clubs or sports clubs and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. The general like rule for each class is that you should be spending 10 hours a week on it, including like lectures, homework, self-guided studies. So when you're looking at a conjoint, generally people are taking 5 courses a semester.
Mm.
So that's around that you can definitely have enough time to be parts of clubs and other commitments. I personally am the treasurer for the Sustainable Future Society, and I'm an education exec for one of the engineering clubs at the university. Those are big time commitments. But everyone is really supportive. The clubs are like aware that you are university students, so nothing is ever too strenuous, and also everyone's kind of there to help. So from a club's perspective, also I find that generally, like if you want to work outside of uni or if you want to volunteer or do anything like that, sports, most people I know can manage up to maybe 20 hours of extracurriculars in total outside of university as well. Um, but you just need to know your own limits. For everyone else, it's going to be different depending on who you are. So I always say just give it a try, and never feel bad if you have to take a break. Your studies are going to be your number one priority while you're in university. So you can give anything a try, but pace yourself.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Shreya. Rhiannon, I want to come to you now. Do you have any ideas of what you might want to do when you graduate?
So I originally didn't really know what I wanted to do with my 2 degree. However, with the support of like CDES, like our careers deployment employability services, um, going through my characteristics and going through the testing that they provided, they really pushed for me to enter into a policy focused career, which I think is really cool. So at the end of my degree, I would really love to work in the public health policy sector, which is really good. And I think my law degree and my health science degree has definitely set a really good foundation for a successful career within that sector. So that's probably where I'm aiming at right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Eloise, coming back around to you now. What would you say would be the main benefits of studying a conjoint degree?
I would say the biggest thing I have found with my conjoint is that you kind of build quite a unique knowledge base. It would be for any conjoint because you're mixing different faculties, like different ways of thinking, and you're exposed to both. And I don't know, I've found that really cool. Like I've got my creative side and my science side, and I have found many connection point between them. And I think that's quite unique. It's quite fun when people ask, "Oh, what are you studying?" And you say science and design, and they look so confused. And then after some explanation, they're like, "Wow, that's really cool." It's just quite a unique, like you can kind of make your own pathway that maybe no one else has really done before because there are so many combinations that you could do. So yeah, I guess that's my answer.
Yeah, great. Rhiannon, back to you. Um, have you made any changes to your programs from like when you started studying or throughout your studies?
Yeah, so when I originally finished high school, I very much was gunning for a spot in med school. So I started in clinical health science. However, after a couple of weeks, I realized that I didn't really enjoy the clinical side of my degree, but I really enjoyed the population health focus of it. So, well, due to the flexibility of the university and also the support with student hubs, it was very easy to change from a clinical health science degree to a conjoint degree with law. So yeah, I very much applaud the university for the flexibility that they've been able to give me with the changes that I've wanted to do to my degree.
Awesome, thank you. Now I'm going to come to you, Shreya. For your conjoint, you've spoken about what you're studying. So you are studying a Bachelor of Engineering and a Bachelor of Science. Um, do you find that your subjects that you are taking or the courses that you are taking, do they complement each other?
Yes and no. So basically, you would think that engineering and science, they both have quite a big overlap. Especially considering that I'm doing biomedical engineering and biology as well. But one of the benefits of doing a science degree, and this is not isolated to the sciences degree, this also like arts degrees and a lot of other degrees at the university, is that there is a huge amount of choices in the subjects that you can do and the courses that you can take. Basically, they can I could have made my courses overlap quite a bit. I could have definitely gone straight down the biomedical sciences route and done a lot of overlap with biomedical engineering. I decided against that personally, just because on a more personal level, I was really interested in a different aspect of biology than what I was learning in engineering. So the subjects, they do complement each other, but also kind of allow me to have a lot more of a broad focus range. For example, I do some biology-based classes in engineering. So we focus on things like looking at the circulatory system and blood vessels, but we learn about it from more of the perspective of, okay, can we measure the fluid flow within this vein? Whereas then I might have a completely separate subject in my science degree, which will also be about the circulatory system, but we'll be learning about it in such a different way, more about how it integrates with the rest of the body. So they complement each other, and I learned a lot of things about the same area, but in a way that I can like go to a biology class and have already learned a little bit from engineering, but learn a completely different aspect of it in science class. And then there's also a lot of ways that doing engineering has benefited me during science. For example, you might not think it, but no matter what science you end up in, you're going to end up having to do a little bit of coding. It's the way the world works right now. So having a really strong foundational understanding of R coding from an engineering degree meant that I was able to breeze past that aspect of my science classes. So it's absolutely up to you. You can pick to make your conjoint degrees line up and lead down in a very, very straightforward career pathway, or like me, you could try and split them up and make it so that you have 3 or 4 possible options when you leave university.
Oh, awesome. Now, this question is for Rhiannon, and this would probably really relevant to our high school viewers right now. Rhiannon, what would be the biggest difference that you would notice between high school and university?
I think for me, one of the biggest differences between attending university and high school is definitely how much more self-directed university is.
Hmm.
Obviously, we have a lot of support within our faculties for our students. However, in saying that, you aren't expected to go to lectures if you don't want to go to lectures. So it's definitely up to you. You definitely have to stay very motivated, organized to ensure that you're attending lectures on time, tutorials on time. For a lot of our science-focused degrees, your labs as well. So university can definitely be a lot more full on than a lot of people anticipate coming from high school. However, in saying that, it's totally up to you the way that you conduct yourself during university. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more self-directed than I think a lot of students, high school students in particular, expect.
Thank you. Eloise, what is the difference between, planning a conjoint degree and a regular degree? Is it much harder to plan a conjoint degree, in terms of your courses and what you need to be taking, or is it the same as you would with a regular degree?
It's definitely different because you could be doing quite a unique combination of papers in a semester, and you kind of have to treat it as like a little bit of a fun puzzle to puzzle together your degree and try and figure out how to plan it so that you're doing your prerequisites, which are the classes that you have to take before you take like the next level and things like that. I personally took that upon myself. I love doing that kind of thing. Like I got my big A3 sheet out and like planned out my degree. I did this probably about 10 times during my degree because things change. It's good fun, but if you're not wired that way or you're worried about getting it wrong, because some people, like you end up at the end and they realize that they haven't done this crucial paper to graduate and then you do another semester. No biggie, but like you can avoid that by going to student hubs in the library. They are so helpful. I have done that multiple times when I get stuck with my A3 piece of paper, like, how do I get it done? I'm more than happy to help. But yeah, if you're doing a conjoint, it's quite common to have timetable clashes that you have to deal with. And there are so many ways to deal with that. Lectures are recorded, so you can just watch them later and things like that. I've always managed, every semester I actually had a clash because of the very unique combination, especially because design studios are like really long sessions and then labs are really long sessions. So the possibility of them overlapping was very high. But it's good fun. I loved planning my degree multiple times, but we've got it now sorted. Yeah. Yeah, slightly harder, but it's fun. So
Awesome, thank you. And I like that you mentioned the student hubs and the other services out there at the university that can help with planning and knowing what the program requirements are, which is really great. Thank you for that. Now, we've just got enough time for one last question, and I want to pose this question to all of you. Do you have any final words or advice for high school students wanting to study a conjoint degree? We'll start with you, Rhiannon.
So my final advice for high school students is definitely, if you're going to study a conjuring degree, it's really demanding. So I would definitely recommend having a routine now while you're in high school. So creating a routine that involves obviously all aspects of your life, but especially your academics. I think we talked about work-life balance, and that's really important, especially when you're studying a conjoint. So yeah, definitely creating a routine now so that by the time that you come to university, you already kind of have a routine sorted out for you, which makes life so much easier when you're studying. But yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Shreya, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Last words of advice.
Well, I think my main thing is don't be afraid to ask for help, and that's in kind of all aspects of university life, whether it's just putting your hand up in a lecture or talking to a past student who might be able to help tutoring you. There are a lot of different resources out there, especially for first year students. If you're in engineering, we have an entire assistance center set up for every single one of the papers that you'll be doing in your first year. Also, don't be afraid to use the resources. Go to student hubs. I know it can be a bit daunting going in and asking for help from people, but the resources are there for a reason, and everyone is so willing to help out. And you're gonna and you definitely don't want to be the one person regretting not having utilized those services in your first year. So definitely ask for help.
Awesome. Thank you, Shreya. And lastly, Eloise, any last words of advice?
I would just say, reflecting on my first year, first semester, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like first year, the first whole semester, the first whole year, it's all chill. Everyone knows you're new to uni and figuring things out, and the lecturers are lovely. Like you can always ask for help after the lectures. I would always also recommend you do that. It's great to make those connections, but yeah, talk to people. Try not to feel the pressure. I know that's easier said than done. Yeah. First weeks of uni are real stressful, but it's not that bad, and you get used to it very quickly. Yeah.
Thank you so much to our panelists for those final words of advice. Sadly, that's all the time we've got for tonight. Before we wrap up, let me just say a big thank you to our panelists. Ladies, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for keeping it real and honest for our viewers. You might not be able to hear them, but I'm sure they're giving you a big round of applause right now. To our viewers, if our experts haven't managed to answer your questions yet, just hang tight. We will be following up with you within the next day or so. After tonight, this discussion will be available on demand, so if you had as much fun as I did, you can do it all over again at your leisure. But in the meantime, please enjoy everything else Manawa Mai Online has to offer. And that's all from us here at the University of Auckland, Waipapa Tamatarau. Until next year, have a good evening. Mā te wā.